So then for the first time in my second year, I had actually failed to meet the minimum requirements to actually receive that exemption. I remember I had gotten a 59% and that exemption was at 60.
Ooh.
I remember I wanted to call my lecturer, be like, can't we find the 1% that's
Somewhere.
actually missing somewhere? But unfortunately, that was it, a 59 I had to take.
Oh.
And I remember what I did is that I was in so much disbelief. And then I started having those doubts again of I'm not good enough for this thing. And then I remember calling everybody, which was my coping mechanism. Actually, like I would, when I am going through something, I will call everybody. So the world needs to know that I'm going through something. Like everybody needs to
The
know
whole
that
must
something is up.
stop.
Yes. So I called, I think my mom, my friends, everybody. I'm like, I just received these results. I did not get this exemption. And everybody's like, yeah, but does it mean that you're not getting your degree? I'm like, no, it doesn't mean that. Does it mean that you're not going to qualify as an actuary anymore? I'm like, nope, I can still write it like after the completion of my degree. And then I realized that, you know what, this is my journey and it comes with these type of failures and now I just have to embrace. So after that, I guess I became immune. I'd say immune. My heart was strong enough to take like failures sometimes. And so I would just accept that I just need to try again. So at that time when I received the SAP, it was one of those man, it just means that I'm not gonna go home. Obviously, that sucks. But I was like, it's okay. I'll just try writing it again. And I actually did that. Yeah.
I really love your coping mechanism. Let me not go through something traumatic alone. Let me actually transact on my network and have people to pick me up. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, you write us up. You eventually pass it, I believe, and you are eligible to graduate, but you're still doing your VAC work. Can you just take us through that period where you eventually pass and what happens to the VAC work? Is there a period where they're like, okay, for this time your contract comes to an end, you must look for a job elsewhere?
Yes, so because it was a VECWEC, so it was a December VECWEC, so it was only for the December duration, like I think November to December, that was like 1 month of the VECWEC. But at that time, I think I had already cracked the secret that, you know what, you should actually tell people what you want. Like, as much as, you know, people are all about working hard, also like people knowing what you want also, you know, helps out a bit. So during my VEC work, I mentioned it so many times that I'd actually like the company to absorb me. You know, like I'd actually like to work with them because the community was warm. It was like family. And then I think I kept on. I tried to stand out. I wanted to stand out during my VEC work. So I was very active. I was very out there. Everybody knew me. That's when I even introduced myself as legend, you know, like a click to it. So you remember like, oh, there was a legend during our VECWEC, so, which was actually a stage name that I got in high school. So I told them, okay, I'm legend. I kept on like putting myself out there, doing stuff, you know, when they need somebody, I put myself to be available so they don't forget me. So with hopes that in January they're gonna call me again, you know, like because that was actually like the procedure. I had learned that the procedure was you do their quack. If you stand out, they actually extend an internship to you. So then I was like, this is my chance. So in Jan, so this day I was writing my SAP. And then on the day of the sub, I received a call in the morning from Siba again. Like, oh, hey, Mihla, would you like an extended work? And I'm like, ooh, you're talking to me. And then I'm like, yeah, sure. And then I joined the extended work. So that one is me training the Gen VECWEX type of thing, but
Okay.
also was doing my trainings as well. And then after the extended VECWEC, and then I found out that I passed my SAP. So now I was sure that I'm not going back to school again. I'm actually looking into working. So then I then started, you know, driving the ship towards the internship. That okay, now you know actually an internship would be great, like I'd love an internship. So I kept on saying it out loud, like I'd like an internship. I think I'm ready for an internship. I'd love to work with you guys. I think I'm ready to be in this space. So yeah, that is how I actually ended up getting like the internship. So they knew how badly I wanted, so they gave it to me. Yeah.
My takeaway is don't operate on the assumption that people know what you want. Tell them, this is what I want, this is how I want to be treated, and let them decide from there. Because they could have thought, maybe she's going to want to move after this, but then you were intentional and told them, I like this company, I like what you guys stand for. I really like that,
And
Mihla.
and actually also another the other reason why I actually had that mentality of telling people what you want. It's a short story that I had from this lady who was my mentor, sort of. Sibabale, she said that, when I started, she is a CASA. It's like when I started my journey, I was working with this company, and they were actually recruiting people to go to Europe for an experiment, and then somehow I was not invited. And then I did not understand why I was not invited. And then I went to my boss and I asked my boss, why wasn't I invited to Europe? And my boss was like, oh, we did not think it's something that would actually interest you. And then she was like, Mihla, when you get a chance, tell people what you want. Like, tell people that you want this and how badly you want it. So they don't make assumptions that you wouldn't want that. So that kept me going. So now every room I step into, I say what I want. Yeah.
Ooh. I love that. I'd actually want us to take it a step back to the legend name. How did you get that?
Um, okay, so I was in grade 10. Obviously, now I became the top achiever on the first term. And then my desk mate is like, legend. Yeah, legend. And then I'm like, yeah, that's me. And then he just started calling me legend. Now, suddenly, the whole school is like legend. So it was just legend because of academics, like I was legendary in the academics. That's how it came about, yeah.
So it also speaks to the authentic side of you that you always stood out as well. I just want to understand, have you always had this big hair, but like what was that signature thing that we were like, oh, this makes me stand out? Back then, was it academics or did you also have or always had this big afro?
Oh no, I did not have hair. In my high school, we actually cut hair. We were all bald. But I think what was signature about me, I did not know until grade 12. I think that I have a big smile. So it is something that I've had like back and back and back again. So people would like actually want to meet like me again because of the smile. Oh, you have such a big smile. So it is something that stood out to me. And also because I think I talk a lot. And then so everywhere I go, I am gonna talk. So that too, people remember me because of conversations I've had with them. And I think that is my also other signature. And then when I got to the workplace, I then because I did not have hair in high school, I wanted to have hair, like a big hair. So then that's when so I obviously tried out a few hairstyles in my head. And then I felt most confident when I am the center of attention, and it meant having this big hair. And that's how I came about the big hair. Yeah.
I love that you're not apologetic about the fact that I love being a center of attention. Oh, I love that. I think I also want to understand. Yes, you wanted something that makes you stand out, but was that influenced by the decision of the school to decide, you know what? All our scholars are not going to have hair. Was that something, not really saying this is me retaliating against that now that I've got freedom, but was that a big role player in your decision?
No, I wouldn't say actually. At that time, I was just happy to be out of school, of the
Okay.
school. I think it was more of, I have this mentality. Oh, firstly, I think I'm a stylist at heart, but also it was also this mentality that you are most confident when you feel good about yourself, when you're confident that you look good, like when you know that you look good. So it was what influenced my decision. Obviously, I was playing around hairstyles, like I said, and then I was looking for this one hairstyle that actually makes me feel good about myself. Like when I look in the mirror, I'm like, I'm ready to enter any room and nobody can tell me otherwise. So then the hair afro, I remember the first time I had an afro, everybody would come, oh, is that your real hair or is that an afro? I'm like, should I tell them that it's not or should I actually be like, oh, it is? So for some people, I'd say, that's my hair. For some people, I'd be like, it's extension. And then they'd still be like, oh my God, it looks so good on you. And it would boost me and my ego, obviously, and my confidence. So then I'd enter a room and I feel like, I'm actually confident enough. I can speak to anybody. I don't feel small. I feel big because I'm this big head girl. So I had like big hair. Yeah. So
Yeah,
that is
I think it's one of those things that drew me to you the night we met. Like, ooh, who's this lady with big hair? I'm like, ooh, I don't know if I should reach out to her, have a conversation. He started smiling when I greeted him. Like, oh, okay, I'm invited. We started chatting the night away. So really, really, it draws people to you. Then you start smiling. It makes people feel you're welcome. It's a safe space. I really do appreciate that about you. Okay, now you are working, right, as a Murex analyst for this company. Things are going great. They offer you an internship. I just want to understand as well, when you got there, you've got your signature look, right? You want to stand out. What are some of the things? Because, in corporate environments, there's always that assumption you can't be too bubbly, you need to blend in, you need to tone it down, don't be so all over the top, we are serious yet, tone it down, blend in. Did you ever have those experiences where you started thinking, even if people didn't tell you tone it down, girl, this is corporate, did you have moments where you were like, maybe I should tone it down?
Oh yeah. So when I started, luckily, with Kayan Consulting, they are like a family. Love them. Love them so much. So with them, they were not very strict like on appearance. Like appearance was not a huge role into like at the workspace. So you could rock up to work wearing however, and still go through like with the day as usual. So that kind of made me comfortable, like styling myself the way I love how. And then I think that after some time, then I had to. So I then became very confident in my skin, even in the workspace. And then after some time, obviously, sometime in the internship, they're like, hey, we need to move you to our client now. You need to go consult our client. So now this means, and then I remember my boss is like, this means that now you need to be more formal, like, excuse me, they're like, it means you need to be more formal because, moving to like a big bank. And then I'm like, interesting. But I'm like, oh, but I'm always formal. But let's see, what does the actual formal in a bank looks like? And then again, get to the bank and then I see, I think also luckily for the bank that I work for, the trading floor, which is where I work, it's more casual. I got there and I saw, people do their own thing here. They're not so in like uptight and all of that. So then I just started, being myself,
Yeah.
wearing what I was wearing, what I was wearing, and what I'm comfortable in. And then I remember this is also like a sneak peek. I even gained myself like this title, they call me Miss GM, like, because, like I'm always the styling myself out
Okay.
and all of that. And I guess I was welcome. So I did not have to change. I did not have to tone it down. But what happened is that I was just boosted up. Yeah. So that is how it all went down.
You're reminding me of something we had a chat about the night we met. You mentioned that you had this big presentation for United Nations, I believe. Now you're working on the presentation, you're thinking, oh, this is a good, a big audience. I need to act accordingly. Can you take us through that, just your experience?
Oh, okay. So, obviously, without revealing the contents of the presentation, but yeah. So, a good thing about small companies is that you get to be exposed. So, I got exposed to actually talking to people from the United Nations. So now I had to my team and I had to make this presentation for United Nations.
Yeah.
And then I'm thinking, United Nations, oh, this is so big. Now I can't just speak my normal English. I need to be professional about it. And then we, obviously, before the presentation, we had some dry runs of the presentation, what we say, how we say it. You don't want to be saying something, out of context or like something out of pocket. And then I remember, so we would present to our big bosses first. So then I presented to my big boss, I'm here, I have my script with me of what am I saying to the UN. And then I'm
Yeah.
reading. And like, and I'm asking him, how was it? He's like, the content is good, but you know what? I know you. And this actually doesn't sound like you. You sound like too professional, and you just need to be yourself. And I'm thinking, I think I forgot how to be myself now.